This is Trophy Gold, The Roots of Old Kalduhr Part 2. When we last saw the characters, they had just navigated through the streets of Layer 1 of The Roots of Old Kalduhr. They went through a kind of a big pile of carriages that made like a makeshift alleyway. They were led through this like little sort of maze um, of stacked up carriages by a small lizard-like creature that was compelled to do so. And we think that this is a whelp. There may be a bigger lizard-like creature somewhere out there. But in the meantime, it led you to this orphan's villa. You are currently in the courtyard of the orphan's villa, and I'll remind you what that looks like. It is, there's a large stone fountain in the center of it, and the fountain depicts, the statuary at least, depicts children playing among a group of large cartoonish animals: a lion, a griffin, a pig, a rooster, a bull, a tortoise. There's also a seventh animal that is unidentifiable because the statue has been destroyed. There are a pair of sort of like rainbow colored doors off their hinges, which lead deeper into the villa, the actual main structure of the villa. And all around, there's like large, colorful planters filled with muck. You've got, there's muck in the fountain as well. And your exploration was cut short briefly by the appearance of a person dressed in shredded harlequin silks and moldering velvet boots. And they are wearing a large porcelain helmet that looks like the head of the lion depicted in the statuary of the fountain. And they're also holding a small bell in one hand and a little bell ringer in their other hand. And they were kind of like dancing around, if I recall correctly. And then they just lunge with their bell and their bell ringer. They have no apparent weapons. They do lunge, though. It is a combat. The endurance is 7. I will tell you that they can't hurt you. So, everyone, please say how you're vulnerable, whatever that means in this context, and roll weak point.
Is this person like adult sized?
Yes.
I think for Korkalik, my vulnerability is that I also have a porcelain face. Like this might be sort of akin, and I don't want to. I want to meet and analyze them more than subdue them, perhaps.
Gleneth doesn't trust.
2.
Yes.
Gleneth doesn't trust anybody wearing a mask, any face coverings and things like that. Being unmasked herself, she knows that there could be something very terrible hiding there.
And you got a 5 for your weak point. Osto, was there?
Osto got the 5.
Oh, Osto got the 5, sorry. Gleneth got 2. Okay, very good. Well, Osto, how are you vulnerable?
Seeing no weapon and seeing a mask, so covering up any teeth or whatever, he's going to be trying to see whether fighting is necessary. So if it attacks him, he won't be ready for it.
Sounds good. And Mazer?
Slinking towards the back. Yeah. I need to roll a weak point, or no?
Yeah, just roll weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
3. So 5, 2, and 3 are weak point numbers. It's an endurance 7, which is pretty easy for 4 dice. So Osto, why don't you roll combat 4?
Three and 2. It's a 7.
4, 2, 3, and 1. So the 2 and the 3 are hits, but it does not do any ruin damage to you. Osto, go ahead and begin describing the combat.
So I think when it lunges forward, Osto is going to just using the butt of his warhammer, just give it a firm shove back, like, hey.
I love it. Keep it going, Gleneth.
Gleneth would then try and wrestle off the lion's head to see what was underneath.
While you're doing so, he strikes his bell. Ding! It has a very like radiating sound, or radiates out. It's very deep and resonant. Not deep, it's resonant though. Gleneth is trying to wrestle the head off Korkulek. What do you do?
And it's a hard call here. And in a way, I'm trying to talk to it, say like, hang on. You're one of the people. Don't do this. Not sure what this is, but don't do whatever you're doing.
Mazer, destroy the creature, please.
Destroy it. I mean, I guess I've got the whip. Can I just maybe I just like decapitate it?
Yeah, that works.
So like I whip towards its neck to try and assist in getting this. I don't know exactly how this works. The physics of it are a little strange, but there's some opening where like I whip in and like get it around the neck to try and get it under control. And I think it just kind of like, I don't know what this thing's neck is made of, but it just like snaps right through it.
Yeah. As the body slumps to its knees, and before it falls over, it rings the bell one more time. Ding! And then falls. There is a sort of reddish black ichor pumping out of the neck wound. It does apparently have a head inside the helmet. Mazer, since you dealt the killing blow, you get to roll gold. It's 7 gold dice, that is.
Cool.
Gold 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Not too bad,
Round
actually.
2.
Stats-wise, it's
Oh.
pretty good result, too. You'll be able to acquire 2 golds worth of treasures from the creature. I will tell you that 1 gold of it is the silver bell and the ringer. So whoever wants to collect that, it's worth 1 gold because it is actually silver. And then whoever wants to define the other treasure from its body, you can do so. Take that gold or take that treasure.
Seems like it should be the porcelain mask.
You certainly can. It's an antiquity, if nothing else, right? Porcelain lion mask, whoever wants to hold it can put it in their equipment. It's worth 1 gold. So who's taking
I wrestled it off him.
Okay.
But we'll offer it to Korkulek.
All right, I can carry a backup porcelain mask.
Yeah, the head inside, if you're tossing that out, it does look like a person. Kind of hard to tell with any specificity because the skin is just like kind of like gray and sunken, and the eyes look just completely like glazed over, like cataracted. You can toss that out and tie the helmet to your gear. Who's taking the silver bell?
I didn't get anything last time, so I think Mazer may
You can take the silver
just
bell.
sort of like reach in and grab that silver bell. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's worth 1 gold. You can call it a warden bell if you wish to
Warden
name it
bell?
specifically.
All right.
Yeah. So, Osto, you're in the courtyard as I previously described, except now there's a dead warden on the ground. What do you do? Oh, let me remind you of the second too, which is to find the administrative funds.
Did the Did we see where the warden came from? Did it come from within the
It was
villa?
just hiding in the corner of the courtyard.
Also, I was going to turn the others and say, maybe we should get inside before 6 friends join.
Yep, that's prudent.
Makes sense.
There are a pair of double doors that are painted with rainbow stripes that are off the hinge, giving you easy access to the central structure of the villa. They open up into what appears to be a common area of some sort because there are rows of tables and chairs and several tall cupboards along the wall. Someone's actually written a message in contemporaneous language, a previous treasure hunter perhaps, but they have written it with paint, blood, mud, hard to tell, but in big letters on the walls. The first thing you see as you walk in fact, it says, "Good children get to sit, bad children get the pit." I will tell you that there's a set of doors off to the left of this room, as well as off to the right. And there's also a set of doors underneath the message written on the wall straight ahead. So 3 ways to exit this large common room. Gleneth, what do you do?
I would go up and touch Osto's elbow and say, is this common for orphanages? This looks dire and horrifying.
The nuns where I grew up were a little gentler, I think. Just a bit.
Well, I'm very glad of that, at least.
So maybe we
Should-
don't start at that door, though.
Yeah, I don't fancy finding a pit in there.
We're the bad children.
All children are sticky. I don't know if that makes them bad.
Master Fond, what do you do?
I think I'm listening to their conversation. This is not with intent to like go through that door, but I'm going to the one that is presumably the pit. And I think just kind of like knocking on it, like trying to get like a sense, maybe like listening to sort of like hear what's on, if I can hear anything underneath, like that type of thing. Being careful though, like I'm not like doing this haphazardly. Like I realize that bad children are presumably in the pit. But I just want to confirm whether these bad children are still around or not.
Make a hunt roll.
Maybe I can't.
Make a hunt
Hunt
roll.
roll?
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know if you have any relevant skills here or a piece of equipment. Sounds like you're just knocking on a door and listening. But
Yeah, I think I am just knocking on the door here. Just one then? Is that-
yeah, I think that's probably right.
Oh,
You got a 3, you encounter something terrible.
of course.
We'll come back to that in a moment. Korkuluk, what are you doing?
Checking the left.
There are a pair of large double doors that go off to the, I guess we'll say it's the west part of the villa. How are you checking? What are you doing?
Are they painted rainbow or normal wood?
That's a great question. These are actually painted with pictures of like cornucopia and turkey legs and corns. Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah, the little turkey hand things. Yeah.
Yeah. I might be exposing us to 2 dangers at once, but I'll open that door and look through.
Take a hunt roll.
All right. Ooh. Do I have any skills here? Is this cornucopia myth related?
No, this is just
Probably not.
paintings for and by children.
That is a 2. I also encountered something terrible.
Indeed you do.
Yes.
Osto, what are you doing? I'll remind you there are cupboards and another set of doors as well as just the tables and chairs.
I'm going to be checking the cupboards for also for false backs.
Just opening them up and poking around.
Yep.
Make a hunt roll.
Can my experience with orphanages
I'll take
assist?
it. Yeah, it works. If there was ever a time for your background to come into play, this feels like it.
Lose all
You
my
got
tokens.
2 ones. You lose all your tokens if you had any, and encounter something terrible. This is just one big terrible situation, I feel like.
Gwyneth, don't do anything. Stay stationary. Don't touch anything.
I'm going to interrupt Gleneth having any opportunity to do anything here in a bit. One sec. Let me cough. Mazer, something is crawling out from under the table, grabbing at your ankles. Korkuluk, something is crawling out from under the table, grabbing at your ankles. If you look down, you will both see porcelain helmets staring up at you. The porcelain helmets, Mazer, the one grabbing you is... How have I managed to scroll away from the... There we go. The one grabbing you is a griffin. And Korkuluk, the one grabbing you, is a tortoise. And they are grabbing you, and they are basically kind of pulling themselves out from underneath. They right themselves, and they go for their little bells. They've got their little bells and their little bell knockers. It is, it's 2 separate combats. I think they're too far. They're one's way over here, one's way over there. It's a pretty big common area. Gleneth and Osto can join either as they wish, but Mazer, please say how you're vulnerable and roll weak point.
I think it's like a psychological vulnerability. Maybe the griffin was like the seal, or there were griffins that were the seals of my my kingdom that I was a diplomat for, a bureaucrat for.
I like that. That's a good little touch. What's your weak point?
And my weak point is going to be 6.
An unhelpful 6. Korkuluk, you're in a different combat with the tortoise warden.
Yeah, and my weakness is hesitation. I'm concerned these porcelain-faced beings are kindred, and yet I don't like clowns. So
go ahead and roll weak point.
It's a weak point of a 2.
Mm-hmm. Osto and Gleneth, I'll give you the opportunity to join the combat if you wish. I think everyone's pretty well separated, but you can run up and join either. Osto, you're going to join one of them?
Yeah, I'll help out Mazer.
All right, so you can get a weak point and join the combat.
That's a 2.
All right, 2 is our, well, in this combat, or in both combats, 2 is a bad number. Gleneth, do you wish to join either?
I have a question. It was a person that we saw when we took the head off the last one.
It was organic,
but it looked like
the shape of a person. Yes,
right, like an apple that had been sitting out in the sun. And okay, would I be able to use my ritual Unravel, suspecting that these creatures are magically compelled beyond their living?
I love it. Yeah, you can do Unravel, and I'll let it affect both of them, which would reduce both of their endurances by 1, which would make the fights a little easier.
Very much like to help with that in that way.
Let's do it. I'm going to keep it's a risk roll, but I'm going to keep the things really punchy here and not ask for everybody's input. What could go wrong on this is the Unravel misfires and unravels Korkuluk. So go ahead and get your dice. Do you have a relevant skill?
Sorry, I was in one tab for dice and I lost my skills.
Oh, mending, like the reverse of it. Sounds kind of good to me since you're a weaver. I'll take that as a light die. And I'll make you a single bargain. No matter what, on at least one of the wardens, they're unraveled to the point where there's nothing useful left from them. If you're okay with that, you can add another light die and it'll be light 2, 1, or light 2, dark 1.
I am, and I shall roll. A dark 6.
Dark 6. Does that kill you? I think your ruin was 5, right?
Mine? No, I
Yeah,
think that
my ruin
Mazur's
was
was 5.
Oh, Mazur's was 5. Oh, okay.
No,
Oh,
I'm good.
you're
I
good.
was
Okay.
rolling my eyes at him poking at a door with 5 ruin.
Your ruin goes up.
Yes.
I think the unraveling will just affect you in some way. You can describe it however you wish, but go ahead and describe how you are weakening the two wardens.
Gleneth has many shiny baubles and objects tied to strings tied to her skirts. And you often, her companions often in the evening see her weaving and then unraveling and raveling and unraveling around these marbles. And you suspect that that might be how she keeps them charged, that she has to unwind them every day and rewind them again in order to keep the magic secured. And in this case, you see her unraveling some of the marble around it, trying to get the threads loose, and it's not quite working, and it just bursts and shatters. And you see both of the wardens get a little looser and a little less accurate, but she has also got this big hot burst of splintered marble across her chest.
I love it. It's great. Corklick, you're by yourself. Combat 1. You need a 6. So close.
5.
But you don't. But no hit happens. I guess that's good. Describe the initial round of combat for you.
Ooh. It's sort of a grappling. I kind of got my axe, but I don't want to use it. I'm kind of trying to hold my hand out, like pressing on this thing's porcelain face. Don't do it. Look at me. I'm one of you. You're of our people.
Very good. Mazer, you can roll a combat 2. You're looking for 6 total. That was a combat 1, but there's 2 of you in the combat, so you can roll combat 2.
Oh,
yeah, combat 2, not
throw another one.
not combat as well.
So another 5.
Okay, great. So it's defeated. Did anybody have a
Yay.
weak point of 5? No. Good for you. Mazer, go ahead and describe the initial part of this thing's grabbing for you as it comes out of from another table.
Yeah, like I think it's slow. Like I feel it like just kind of like grabs onto like my calf, and then like maybe it's another hand, and it's almost like it's like laddering itself, like pulling itself up. And yeah, I'm just picturing these things just like to get in your face, like they like to show their face to your face. So it's like coming right up, and maybe I just kind of like twist around and kind of like trip it, and like that's kind of like the dance that the two of us are doing, is like I keep on like making it fall, and I don't know, like maybe I still have the bell in my hand and I'm just like jamming the bell into it every time like it trips and falls, and then it's like climbing back up, and we're just kind of in that cycle.
I love it. Osto, finish it off. Osto, smash its helmet too, because this is the one that won't give anything useful.
Yeah, almost as if you'd expect him to yell 4. He just hefts his hammer and then just swings it down when it hits the ground one time and smacks it right in the side of the head.
It shatters, and you hear the crunch of its skull as it collapses down. And Korkaluk. Combat 2.
All right.
Hey, that'll do
10
it.
total, 4 and a 6.
Describe defeating the creature. warden.
Oh. I grab a hold of its throat and porcelain to porcelain, give it a headbutt, like whack. And as it staggers back, I swing my axe and decapitate it.
That sounds fantastic. Mazer and Osto, you can collect the bell from this one. It's worth 1 gold, but otherwise there's nothing claimable from that particular warden. Korklug, go ahead and roll a gold 6 for this other one. And that'll just be the helmet or the bell, your choice.
May as well keep collecting bells. They're lighter weight, right?
Indeed. Well, now, Mazer, you can look into those doors and you see that they open up into what appears to be like a barracks. You see rows of like little wooden bed frames and things. And Korkuluk, your door set leads to the kitchen. So let's just have that scene at the end there, with everyone catching your breath and figure out what to do next.
Well, I guess that's 3 down. Picking glass out of my skin.
I kind of
Maybe.
look at my like bloody whatever covered bell, and then like look at the bell on the ground and look at Osto and kind of just like nod to him, and I'm like, I've got mine. Looks like there's one for you.
Maybe by the end we'll have a full set, but maybe 1 door at a time, henceforth.
Let's hope that the bells stop at this.
You know, you can get those little teaspoons that have like a landmark or a state
Commemorative
symbol on it or whatever. I'm
teaspoons.
picturing a set of these with each animal head on the bell.
Like challenge coins, but bells. I love it. Oh, well, Gleneth, what are you doing right now?
I would like to search the room I'm in order to see if there are any secret passages or doors or windows or hidey holes or loose boards that maybe we could find a different route out of here or something hidden.
I'm into that. So checking behind the cupboards, checking the walls, that kind of thing. Moving tables, maybe. Sure, take a hunt roll.
Oh, there it is.
What'd you get? A 3?
A 3.
I think at one point you are maybe down below, maybe checking for, you know, so you're checking for trapdoors and things, maybe tossing a rug aside or something. Like that's a classic, right? Put a trapdoor under a rug. And you hear, there's no trapdoor. You hear something coming from below, but it's not immediately below. It's like deeper. But it is definitely like the sounds, ghostly sounds perhaps, of dozens of children laughing and crying, singing and fighting somewhere deep below. Osto, what are you doing?
Sorry, are we in the room with the beds or?
You can go in there if you want. Yeah. You never really got a
Yeah.
chance to do the cupboards though, so the cupboards are still a thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll stick with the others and go for the cupboards. Try to look false bottoms, all
Yeah.
the tricks he knows.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just go ahead and tell you what you find, and you kind of go through them, and most of them are pretty empty. You're not noticing any like little trick spaces. One of the cupboards, though, does have a surprisingly intact silk cloak in a sort of raspberry red color.
He'd snag that.
You can. It's in very good shape. It's very finely made. It's worth 1 gold. You can put it in your gear. Mazerfond, what are you doing?
Honestly, I think I peek into the bunk room.
Yeah, at this point, you'll probably need a light source. Any ambient light from outside is too
Mm.
dim. So long as you have some sort of light source, you can certainly do that.
I don't know if I have such a thing. Maybe I
Everybody
look
has
to the-
something in their backpack equipment. Your little drop downs, you can click and pick anything from that drop down.
Oh, fancy. Okay. Then yes, I have something. I just have to go through the alphabet and find it.
Korkluk, while Mazer is digging through his pack, what are you doing?
I'm gonna explore this kitchen.
Yeah, same thing. You need a light source.
All right. I will also dig through my alphabetical backpack and pull up a T for a torch.
Very good.
Gleneth shows up behind Corkluck with her little marble that she casts an illusionary light on.
Indeed. You can go into the kitchen. The kitchen, there are several large food preparation islands flanked by a scullery pit and a cooking hearth. Everything is dusty and hasn't been used in probably centuries. There does appear to be a little walk-in pantry in one corner of the room. There's also a set of stairs going down to somewhere. So Korkuluk, what do you do?
I call back. I found some stairs that go down. Maybe we sweep this floor before proceeding down to where the naughty children are in their pit.
Corkluck, I heard children down there. I was jimmying the floorboards looking for, I don't know, hidden treasure. They were playing and laughing, and they can't possibly still be here.
I don't know, ghost children. We're in a strange realm.
Clowns were bad enough, but I don't know if I can deal with ghost children.
Back to Mazer. So Mazer, are you going into the barracks still with your light source?
I think that I hear Korkluk shout that he's found something and yeah, like turn away from the barracks. Maybe is that there's an eerie creek or something within there that it's like, yeah,
You think better of
you
it?
just
Yeah.
escaped whatever terrible thing is in this room.
Asto, what are you doing after you're done tossing the cupboards?
He'll follow the others, taking his own advice.
Indeed, indeed. Well, the kitchen is as I described it. There is a little pantry that kind of juts off to the side, as well as some stairs going down, in addition to the food preparation islands and cabinets and things like that. So what's everyone
I
doing?
think he's going to check under the. Osto is going to lift the stove a little bit and see if, like his little cubby hole in his orphanage,
Yeah.
someone else had the same idea.
So this would just be like it would mostly just be like some brickwork that the hearth is sort of built into. It's kind of just an open fire basically, but you can dig around in the ashes for sure. Take a hunt roll.
2, 1.
The dice are
Or
fucking
sorry, how many dice?
number of dice. That's what you rolled. Unless you've got a skill or equipment, your orphan thing. Yeah, you can take 2 dice for that. Yeah.
A 6.
Nice. Take your token. You dig around and you actually do find a loose brick. And it's a loose brick where things are being hidden or something is being hidden. What's being hidden is a jade lion figurine. Worth 1 gold. Cork, you were in here first. What are you doing?
Checking the pantry. There's always something good in the pantry.
When you step inside the pantry, I'll tell you what you see at a glance. At a glance, it's fairly empty, but on one shelf, there are a number of multicolored, or each is a different color, a number of wax-sealed jars on the shelves, and they're each labeled, but the labels are written in Old Kalduhr. But if you have even just like a basic way of interpreting Old Kalduhr, I'll tell you what they say. But what you see is there's a blue jar, 3 yellow jars, a red jar, that one has no label, and a green jar. The green jar is cracked open and empty.
All right. With antiquarian skill and artifacts, can I pull off any of these labels?
I think so. The blue jar is labeled Orphan grapes.
Can't figure out the other ones.
The yellow jars, there's a word you don't recognize, but the other word is honey.
All right. And these are all sealed except for the green one.
Yeah. The green jar is a very complex Old Kalduhr word, or set of words, and the red jar has no label. The
It's like a job for my parse ritual. If I meaning of any word, writing, sound, or.
Do you have parse?
Oh yeah.
Oh, then I don't even need you to. You can just do it.
Right.
The red jar has no label. The green jar is labeled destabilizing unguent. And the yellow jar is Fey honey.
Fey honey. Ooh. All right. Hey, Glyneth, do I know the Glyneth is Fey? I don't remember. It's been too long.
I'm unmasked. I don't think it's a secret.
All right. Hey, Glyneth, do your people make a special honey? These jars all say that's what this is.
What does the jar say? Special Fey honey?
If I'm reading it right here, it says honey of the Fey born.
I'd like to take this jar and see if I recognize any of its contents.
I mean, the jar's wax sealed. You can crack it open and look, but otherwise it just says what it says, and it's in a yellow jar. Mazar, what are you doing right now?
I think I am. We're in the kitchen, so I think I'm looking for like some type of like curing chamber, something like that. That's where there might be food that's still edible.
Yeah. I mean, there are probably like some very, very like shriveled sausage links hanging from a hook. Probably not going to get too much nutritional sustenance out of them. This place has been abandoned for a very long time. There are those stairs going down.
Of course, there's the stairs going down. I think I go like towards the stairs, and maybe like I look back at the group that's investigating the jars, and just say, anything in those jars help us get down these stairs?
Glyneth will just pocket that yellow jar.
There are 3 yellow jars. Do we want to split them up in case they're useful?
Glyneth has one.
If nobody else wants the rest, I will carry them. But if other people have a desire to carry these,
Would Fey honey make my terrible condition feel any better?
it might. I may as well eat a spoonful and find out. It can't hurt you, right?
I mean, can I roll for any kind of? Do I know as a Fey-born person anything
Yes.
about our
If
honey?
it truly
If it is truly our,
if it
yes.
truly is Fey
Mm.
honey, it does have restorative properties. Yes.
Mazer, I know that we do craft a honey that can replenish you, but I don't know what's in this jar, but it certainly wouldn't hurt to check.
Yeah, let's open the jar and at least smell it and see if it checks.
You can crack it open, and I would. No, I'm not going to make a roll hunt roll. It is indeed very sweet, delicious smelling honey.
Mm.
Half a jar probably would do you, given the state of you.
Well, I'm not going to last much longer without this, so bottoms up, I suppose.
You do have to use the whole jar. You will lower your ruin by 1. So that's good.
Hey.
You take the condition euphoric.
Ooh.
So how is it making you feel?
Euphoric?
Well, describe it to us then.
I don't know. They're the rainbow doors, right? So maybe it's just kind of like that's sort of the feeling is like the sort of like bands of the rainbow are like now like coming into the room, and it's like a fantasy cartoon type of thing where I see like these like beams of color that are sort of like winding around, and they're probably leading all down towards the stairs. And yeah, I think the rest of the party can probably tell that I am enamored by something that's like moving through the room that no one else can see, and am headed back towards the stairs as I like gulp down the honey.
Oh, drat, I forgot. It can make you a
Hi.
little bit loopy.
So Mazer, who is stoned out of his mind, is going downstairs. It sounds like. Osto, what are you doing right now after you get that jade lion figurine?
He's gonna go. Don't let him go on his own, guys, and just start following Mazer.
I
So
will follow
Mazer,
Osto with more light.
the stairs are fairly narrow. Only one person can go, or it's single file, I should say. So Mazer, you're going down. What are you doing as you go down the stairs?
I mean, I think like it's because it's sort of what I would normally do is like checking the walls for like, like runes and carvings and like that type of thing that might indicate some type of incantation or like presence within this. But it's probably like more obsessive than like normal. Like I'm just kind of like cracks between bricks and like that type of thing. Like I'm just like really into, and yeah, like maybe holding up the group as like every chip and crack is
I love it.
being investigated, and yeah, like probably going on about like, oh, the
You're just
lesser
like
demons
staring
do
at
not
cracks in the
have as
wall. Yeah.
profound carvings, and so we must look at every nook and every cranny. The world is full of such beautiful, beautiful things that you would never see if you didn't take the time.
Make a hunt roll.
Sweet. Got a token.
You
but
get a
I
token.
encounter something powerful.
Indeed you do. 5. Since you're spending so much time go slowly blocking everyone else from getting down the stairs, you will all hear somehow over Mazer's exultations. The stairs don't go down very far, by the way. It's just like a little cellar. But you'll hear down in the darkness of it, and then stomping. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Stomp, stomp, stomp. What do you do?
Do we all hear this?
Everyone hears it.
Grand thing. that dwells within this cellar, know that we come bearing good news from above.
And a warden wearing a pig helmet lurches out of the dark, their bell ready.
Hmm.
They strike it. Boom.
My friends,
It's out.
ring your bells. I'm very euphoric. I don't know if you guys are going along with this, but like, I'm
Osto, what do you
pulling out my
do since
bell.
you're right behind Mazer?
He's going to get his warhammer up but also just go and ring the bell.
You ring the bell.
I ring the bell.
Bung.
Bong.
Do you ring your bell as well, Mazer?
For sure.
Is everyone out of their mind on Faye, honey?
The thing is just lurching forward and it's getting ready to draw back again and ring again.
Hurry, hurry.
Gleneth, what do you do?
I would like to throw 2 handfuls of glass marbles onto the floor in front of it as it is lurching forward.
I think it's a small enough, tight enough space where you can do that. It will slip and slide and clash and clatter to the ground. You can even see a crack on its pig helmet as it hits the stone. And the helmets are very like kind of unwieldy, and so it's trying to like right itself. Mazer, you're still in the front, pressed up against the so what are you doing?
I think as it trips and falls, I'm like, oh no, no, what have you done? Another of the sister's beautiful creatures sent to the earth. And I probably yeah, like run toward it.
Osto, what are you
Why not?
doing?
Desperately going to try and stop Mazer.
I think you can. Mazer's not in any state to resist too much, I don't think. The thing stands back up eventually. Corkalook, you're way in the back. What are you doing?
Yeah. Is there
You're
any way
probably,
to get
still
down
at the
there
top of
and-
the stairs.
Okay. Is there room enough to charge down and smack the thing, or not space?
No, I think they're all just like blocking the way. Basically,
Agreed.
Osto or Mazer have to do something here, or you can throw something into the melee, I suppose.
Oh, about all I can do is rewind the thing in time. It's about my only option. I don't know. I got a bad feeling if all these warden bells are wrong, that things are going to be ugly. I'm going to try and rewind this warden back to before it came up the stairs.
Okay, I like it. It's a risk roll. I think we'll just rewind back to before Mazer even starts going down the stairs, basically. We'll rewind back to that point. Let's go around the table. Sarah, Mike, Ben, what could go wrong here?
Let me ask a quick question. The specific wording is to slightly push a creature back in time, not to rewind time.
Oh,
Am I moving one creature, or am I moving all of time back?
Oh, that's interesting. I guess if you want to just push the creature back, I guess that's okay. Yeah, but what would be the point of it, though? I guess what were you trying to accomplish? I mean,
I'm assuming there's a landing down there,
there is, yeah.
some kind of room to get
Right.
it down there, and then us forewarned about that
Got
it's
it.
got a bell, and maybe we can get somebody who's not tripping balls down there in front.
Down there first. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, so I pose the question again. Ben, Mike, Sarah, what could go wrong with this rewind spell?
You accidentally rewind one of the wardens behind us back to life.
Woof.
Oh,
I
like
was
they're
just gonna
connected
say
in some way. Yeah.
I was gonna say accidentally rewinds one of us.
I was going to just say you rewind the whole scene for whatever that's worth. It might be a good thing. Who knows? But yeah.
You rewind the space back to when it initially collapsed.
Oh,
and
that's
all of
really
this
good.
Was
Yeah.
at the height of its.
I might do that if it fails. We'll see.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's talk about dice though. Do you have a relevant skill or piece of equipment?
Is this thing an artifact or is it porcelain mask an artifact?
Oh, like are you going to use the porcelain mask you have as like a focus point or something?
Yeah. Can I
Oh.
shove that porcelain back in time and take the creature with it?
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I like that as a medium by which to operate. Yeah. So you got one light die. Devil's bargains. I'm going to say no matter what, you do revive one of the previously defeated wardens.
No matter what, your earlier ploy to get the warden to recognize you as one of them will work, and you're going to be recognized as a warden.
No matter what, because this is the first time that you have done the spell with the bees present. Now they are kind of in and out of time as well.
My brain is just fixated on like if you'd taken one of those jars, you drop it and it breaks. And that's not super interesting, but
Maybe the safest of the options, though.
I refill the green jar of destabilizing engine.
I don't think so. So what do you? So which one are you going to take, if any? You can reject them all, of course.
I like the idea that the wardens start to recognize me as one of them, and I don't know where
Yeah.
that's going to go, but is that all right?
That works for me. Yeah.
Let's do it.
2 light, 1 dark.
All right.
All right.
5 light.
You succeed. You will take a complication. The complication is going to be that it's kind of an out of character complication, so you can decide as a player what you want to do with it. But the complication is going to be that you do rewind him or it, but you do not unring its bell. If you get a 6, I'll let you unring its bell, in which case you have to add a dark die and try again.
I think I'll stick with that.
Very good. Describe what it looks like when you push it back into time.
So previously, when I've done the ritual, I've spoken backwards, like inverting syllables, and it's still that. But given that there's a porcelain mask involved, I'm basically taking my own head and cranking it around upside down while speaking inverted to force this thing to pass backwards.
It does. It is back now in this little cellar, probably a root cellar, and you can all regroup and decide what you're going to do with it now that you know it's down there. So let's just have that moment at the top of the stairs, say, and figure out what you're going to do.
With Gleneth's gauntlets, she does not have to do grapple checks for risk rolls, so she's just going to cement her hand around Mazer's forearm and just keep him here.
I feel like if all 7 of these wardens ring their bell, something not great is going to happen. Something pretty bad is going to happen. And we've encountered what? This is our 4th. We don't have a whole lot more opportunities to prevent them from completing whatever this is.
Well, what do we propose to do with it? I mean, we destroyed this one. We hope we don't run into any more.
Are these things here to keep the children in the orphanage or to summon the children out for defense? I'm kind of directing this to Osto. Do orphanages have warden beasts that make sure the children don't run away or something?
Mine didn't.
The nuns were scary enough, apparently.
You're not wrong.
I'm just kind of muttering to myself, and I say something like, I've always found that it is better to summon something when you are ready for it to be summoned than to have it to come upon it by chance.
Wise words indeed. So what do you all do? Or if anything, you just leave it. You don't have to like go down there with it. I mean,
We could backtrack and try and clear out that dormitory room and whatever the door to the right was.
I like that plan.
Door to the right, I think.
Not the pit door.
I see color bands headed towards the door on the right
indeed, you
and
do.
nod.
These doors are fairly plain and simple as compared to the others that you've seen. They open up into what appears to be actually just one little small room, or not small room, but just a single room, not quite as big as the kitchen. There is a large imposing desk. There's a small bed with a footlocker at the end of it and a standing wardrobe. It appears to be some sort of like office or sort of headmaster's office kind of thing. Osto, what do you do? Was your idea to go? Or no, it was Gleneth's idea to go first. Gleneth, what do you do?
Rummaging through desk drawers and looking for false bottoms.
Yeah, take a hunt roll.
Gleneth is convinced everything's a trapdoor these days.
A 2, you'll encounter something terrible. Dice are very cruel today. The hunt roll dice are, at least. We'll come back to that in a moment. Osto, what are you doing?
Can you check out the office?
Yeah, I mean, Gleneth's already going to the desk. So what are you doing? There's also a wardrobe, a bed, a footlocker at the end of the bed.
Oh, a footlocker is easy. That seems safe.
Yeah, the footlocker is a it's kind of a wood and iron chest. It does appear to be locked because there's a little padlock on it. It looks secured. That's at a glance. What do you do?
Gonna take my hammer and try and lever it under the lock to snap it off.
As soon as you begin to try to lever the footlocker open, you see a sort of flash of red energy, and you see a sigil on the wood that begins to swell and glow red. Whatever it is, it's about to explode on you. What do you do?
Gonna try and kick it away from the group toward the end of the room.
That is a risk roll. Sarah, Brian, Mike, what could go wrong here?
Kicking explodes on impact.
Yeah, that was my thinking. Like, it just blows up on you.
If it blows up at the entrance, that the entrance caves in.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Mine's the same. Nothing special.
Let's talk about dice. Osto, do you have a relevant skill?
Strength.
I'll take it. Devil's bargains. Mine's going to be real harsh. You don't have to take it, but whatever's in there is destroyed.
Well, we don't know that that's harsh.
It is.
No matter what, for the rest of this set, you cannot shake the feeling that you as an orphan belong in the pit.
Whoa.
Man, I don't think I can top that. The only thing I had was well, no, yeah, you have a brother. That there's some sign that your brother was here, but I don't know if that's in this room or elsewhere in the orphanage.
Um, it's like a borderline condition, but like this is like multiple times that you've just like tried to protect the group from some random things and some random terrible thing that happens. And so maybe like you just kind of like get into this mode where you just suspect that the group, anything the group like gets into or goes after is something you need to protect them from. Um,
Oh, like that. I can turn it into a condition if you want to do that. Yeah. I can turn Sarah's into a condition too.
I like the idea of Osto going really hard in on Guardian.
Take the condition protective. You have 2 light and 1 dark is automatic because of the quite dangerous nature of this. So please go ahead and roll 2 light, 1 dark. 6
Dark
dark.
6.
Your ruin goes up. I think basically the sigil is going to burn you. So I'm going to give you burned leg as well as a condition. But you otherwise kick it away. I'll take the fiction. You kick it and it slides almost like a hockey puck across the office out into the common area, and there's just like a burning like hot spiral of fire that just like burns wildly, and then it's done. But the chest is open, and Korkuluk, you'll notice first, since I think you were probably last in the room. There is a leather sack, very large, filled to the brim with old Kalduhr coins. Some of them are spilled out.
That's a lot of gold there. Nice going, Osto. That was impressive.
Osto's patting the fire out on his pants and wincing, and yeah, great, go me.
You can all, assuming that at some point you'll take the time to divide it up. It's a lot. It's 5 gold cash, which you can divide up as you wish into your gold tracker.
One apiece and 2 for the hero of the moment.
I'm already carrying 3 gold, and I think Gleneth has none, right?
I have 0 gold. I have no gold. The hunt dice have been cruel today.
Why don't you take my gold from that? So you've got 2.
Thank you.
Osto gets 2, 1 to Mazer. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, thanks.
Gleneth, you were searching the desk. We'll get to that in a moment. Mazer, what are you doing once everyone kind of gets the coins gathered up? Coinage. It's a lot.
I think I'm keeping like a close eye on Gleneth inspecting the desk. Like I would expect that the desk might have, documents of whatever was going on here, like that type of thing. And I sort of like anticipate that that's when my expertise with letters and ancient letters would come into play. So
I love it.
Watching.
Gleneth, you do manage to pop open a desk drawer. There is a rolled up parchment inside the desk drawer. Regrettably, there is also a needle trap in the lock of the drawer, and it sticks you, and you can feel your blood burning currently. Gleneth screams and falls back in pain. Mazer, what do you do to help Gleneth, if anything? There's also that rolled up parchment.
I mean, I run over. Well, So I still have the effect of the honey is still going on. So I run over, I see that like something physically has happened. Maybe I've been like because I'm looking very closely at what documents she might be coming across. So I see the sticking. And the other jars. Do you have the other jars?
You would be able to find one in my pack, but I don't know if I can really communicate much.
I've
I'm in
got
a lot
a-
of searing pain.
I've got the collection of blue, yellow, and red jars.
So yeah, maybe I look back at you and say like, throw me one of yours. This stuff is really good. It'll fix the situation.
Who has
Trust
the yellow
me.
jar? There's 2 other yellow
I have
jars.
one.
Okay. Do you
No, I
toss?
think-
Do you toss the
I
yellow
have
jar?
one in my pack, and Corkluck had one as well. So
Yeah,
you
okay.
can choose from whatever
Yeah, I'll toss
source
it
you need there.
if Gleneth is in too much pain. I'll toss it.
As long as you use the
of
honey,
your people.
as long as you use the honey, I don't need a die roll or anything. Gleneth will be stabilized. Gleneth, just describe it as you take the honey into your body to ease the poison.
My vision had just gone red and white hot in the pain, and I couldn't feel my own nerves and tendons. I'm tasting very familiar, like it takes me back immediately to my childhood, and I'm suddenly just upright again.
Osto, there's a wardrobe. That's the last thing in this room. There's a bed as well.
Once I get the my leg wrapped up a little bit, gonna just kind of limp toward the wardrobe and just pull one of the doors open.
This is not the kind that has drawers. Just it's very tall and just has 2 doors.
Pull one of the doors open then.
You open the door, and standing inside the wardrobe with an almost unnatural stillness is the warden with the bull helmet, just standing there. What do you do?
Gonna close the door and put my back against it and turn to the others and say, company in there.
For clarification on the honey, does my ruin also go down 1, or was that just the solution?
That
for
was
my
just the
trap?
solution for the poison.
Cool.
Yeah.
Understood.
I suppose I don't know that they recognize me as one of them yet, right?
Not yet. Unless you're just intuiting it somehow, which I'm open to.
We could go with the, let me talk to them. I feel like I've learned to speak their language. Or we just walk away like we left the other one and try and keep, I don't know, uncovering what we can without uncovering them.
Did it look animated?
It was very still. Just all open the door. If we're all ready for it, we can dispatch it quick.
Well, 3, 2, 1.
It's combat. Everyone roll weak point, please. You don't have to say how you're vulnerable. Just give me a number.
6.
I'm also a 6.
2.
And it looks like Mazar is a 3. 6, 3, 6, 2. Combat 4. Osto, go ahead.
That's 10, but I did
Yeah.
hit a 2.
2, 1, 5, and 5. You will destroy it, but not before it gets to ring its bell 1 time. Just describe what this looks like? Asta started off.
He's gonna count down with his fingers and then just step forward and fling the door open, and be ready to smack it if it comes out.
It does. It will lurch forward. Mazer, what do you do?
I guess whip its feet and try and upturn it.
Very good. Gleneth?
I had a weak point of 2. Do we deal with that afterwards, or do I fold that into what I am?
I mean, you're not
currently?
taking any ruin. It's just going to ring its bell.
Okay. Then Gleneth begins to giggle. And she just throws a fistful of marbles at it.
And it
It worked the last time.
it's managed to pull its bell out and it rings it once. Bing. Korkuluk, finish it off.
All right. I do that, double-handed axe over the head, and there's a moment of recognition, eye sockets to eye sockets, where I'm like, ooh, you know me, and then thwonk.
Nice. Very good. You can crunch into its head. And it is dead. It twitches a bit, drops its bell. Mazer, go ahead and roll 7 gold.
Zero.
Nothing of use. The bell is rusted. The helmet is smashed. There is that parchment in the desk. And in the wardrobe is at the bottom of the wardrobe, Osto, you'll now see, is a black cube.
Could I take the bell even if it's not worth anything?
You can, yeah.
He'll pick up the bell, and then I think I'll poke the cube with the end of his hammer.
The cube does not move. It has notches on each face that you can see. Like something has slipped into the notch. And it's about the size of, that's like that.
I think he'll kind of nod to Korkuluk and say, "This look familiar?"
You said doesn't move, like resists the force, like it's locked in there.
Do you try to pick it up?
Oh, I thought Osto had tried to
Bump
wonk
it. Yeah,
it.
nothing. Yeah, it just did not move. Just stayed right where it was.
So immobile beyond what it seems like it should be. All right. Looking at my skills. Do skills and artifacts give me anything with this, or myths?
I'll tell you that you will know that there's a lot of rumors that the old Kalduhr managed to create magical power sources. This could be connected to that.
I'm gonna exercise my archive ritual here and summon up the bees to give up a memory to learn a piece of lore.
I'll just give you the truth of it then. The cube, when fitted with special gemstones, functions as a source of power.
All right. People, this looks like this could be quite useful to us. We're going to need some special gemstones to fit in those holes, but we should definitely bring this along.
It's so shiny.
I think he'll look at Korkaluk and then go, oh, you mean me? Yep.
You found it.
Asta, the cube can be lifted, but it's incredibly heavy. The only way you can carry it is if you discard all of the rest of your equipment.
Like found equipment or backpack
All of it.
or both.
It's literally
Oh, all
all
of
you
it?
can carry.
Yeah. I think
Well, since you have
he'll-
strength, I'll let you keep your weapon too.
no, I think he'll pick it up, grunt, and say, "No, we'll come back for this."
That makes sense.
I know Brian has
Sorry,
to
the
go. in a bit.
legends didn't mention how heavy it was.
Brian has to go in a bit. I will say that if you take the time to apply Korkaluk's parse ritual to the document inside the desk, it is the formula for the destabilizing unguent, which I can give you next time, but I'll just say it now. Henbane, unicorn hair fern, soldier's puppet, the undiluted excretions from the roots of the old oak tree. And on that very strange cryptic note, we will call it a session. We can just do a quick stars and wishes. Brian, if you have to go, you can go whenever, but let's do stars and wishes. Whoever wants to go first, take it away.
Sorry, I was writing in my notes the stoned condition, so I can remember to be super high next time we go pick back up.
Everyone's tripping on Fey honey, opening up things willy-nilly and having them explode on them or poison them or otherwise do bad things.
I mean,
into
stars for the dice
wardens.
today,
Yeah,
right?
dice were
Like
cruel,
it was
yeah.
bad, but we also set off every trap in the place, so it was a lot of fun.
Means it'll be saved for next time, right?
The bells have been chimed 6 times for what that's worth.
Mhm.
I thought Sarah's line of "all children are sticky" was quite nice. And then later on, running into the honey and saying, "This takes me back to my childhood." I don't know if you planned that, but that was a nice little roundabout. Glad to see Asta's orphanage experience coming in handy. Oh, Mike, just you had said another of the sister's beautiful creations cast to the ground or something like that. It was just really eloquent. Gave a good sense of character.
Yeah, I like that line too. That was really good. It felt very on point for Mazer. I really love this particular little set. This is the one that I wrote of Roots of Old Kalduhr. Well, I wrote 2, this one and another one. But it's fun to play it out. I'd never actually run it before, so it was fun. It's been fun to kind of do it. And I like because it's really fun because it's one of those like kind of classic sort of OSR type things where like, I know what's going to happen. I know what all this shit means, but you don't. And so you may find out, you may never find out. But it'll be fun to see how it plays out.
You just have to staple your fingers together like an
Yeah.
evil genius.
And it just feels like a dungeon crawl too, which is fun. Like just to do a dungeon crawl is always good fun, you know. So.
Stars for me for the wardens and the bells. I like the weird kind of like a little silly humorous, but also really disturbing and gross. It's a good mix, good balance, and the bells, not knowing what that means, good setup for what I'm sure will be the 7th bell and something really terrible. And yeah, also here's a giant, small, heavy thing. You have to drop all your shit to carry it. And I know it's going to be worth like 10 gold, but yeah, also all the character work, just rushing off, being silly adventurers in a really dangerous place is good fun.
Yeah. Stars to the Devil's Bargains are always really good. with this group. Like it gets to me and I'm like, oh, I think we all do that a lot, where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, like that one really hits. So it's always, yeah, very fun. And yeah. And then yeah, I mean, just like echoing like this particular like set is kind of, I was just thinking about it based on the comments that we've made, is like there is that like playfulness to it that actually feels like kind of a throwback to the really early like Trophy Dark incursions as well, where there was that they were a little playful and like they were playing around with like the like folktale, like fairy tale, like grim stories, that type of thing, that are still like dark and terrible, but have that sort of like whimsy to them as well. Which is, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think that that's a neat like way to sort of like open the mega dungeon, is with something that is, yeah, kind of like a throwback to the origins of Trophy as well. Yeah.
Yeah, my wish, um I do hope you all at some point figure out what the bells do. Your characters don't hope that, but as a GM, I really do. And so that'll be really fun if it happens. It may not though. And I'm just really curious to, you're just about done with this set, so I'll be curious to see kind of where it goes from here, and also whether the progenitor lizard thing shows up as well. I'll be curious to see if that happens, because I think I still owe you that from a previous Devil's Bargain. So, yeah. Any other stars or wishes?
My wish is that we ring all the bells, honestly. Sorry, everyone.
No, I definitely have like Chekhov's. What did we do? The Hound of Nagalith, or like Chekhov's
The Hound of
lizards.
Nagane, yeah,
Chekhov's giant lizard. Yes.
Chekhov's giant pale lizard, yeah. Yeah. I will tell you, on the bells thing, you all made great progress on the stairs to the cellar as far as that goes.
Oh, cryptic worry for this week.
Any other stars or wishes? Kind of a short session, but that's okay. We can go
No,
enjoy the
it was a
rest of our
good one. It
Saturday.
was fun.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.